What up guys, it's K13 and welcome back to my channel. In case you haven't noticed, I cut my hair. Bleaching it today. I might try and wait till next week to color it. I bought a color brand of dye I haven't tried yet, so hopefully it works out. Anyway, I'm filming 2 videos today, so this is the video that you guys will have this week, and then after this I'll film another video that'll be uploaded next week. We're gonna do another asexual video reacting to people. Like, it's education, but it's not like, this is on my education playlist, but it's not an educational video. It's like one of the videos I did earlier where the guy that started the ACE community, like ACE website, Avon, it's just him featuring in news videos again, and people being really ignorant about the ace culture. This video is from like 17 years ago, 2006. So it's a little outdated, but we're gonna react to it anyway. We're gonna watch Asexuality on Tucker Carlson. All right, buddies, here we go.
Time now for our Under the Radar segment, which comes to us tonight from San Francisco, California. David J. is a 23-year-old ladies' man who is also a virgin and planning on remaining one. He's not a priest. He doesn't want to become a priest. He just says he's not interested in sex, and apparently he is not alone. They started an online community for asexuals called...
It's already really funny. Just the way it's like, oh, he's a virgin, and but he's not a priest. I don't know. It's already just really cringy.
Sexuality.org claims to have more than 6,000 members worldwide. Here to talk about a community under the radar.
Can we stop and just think about that for a second? Worldwide, 6,000 members. He said more than 6,000, but basically 6,000. That's not a lot. Last time I read, it was to believe that about 1% of the human population is asexual. Now I know that they believe, I don't know who they is, but it's believed that there's more than 1%, which I believe more than 1% of people are on the ace spectrum.
Well, celibacy is a choice. Asexual people don't experience sexual attraction. So the way that, for whatever reason, most people in the world feel the need to make sex a big part of their lives, asexual people just don't.
So you don't think about sex?
I don't desire sex. I mean, I see sex in the world around me all the time, so I think about it, I know that it's there.
Yeah.
That's what I hate. This is one of the reasons why I had to question it so much, because when I was questioning if I was ace or not, it's hard, because I would see some people that are ace and they're like, I never think about sex. I don't think about it at all. And I'd be like, I think about it all the time. It's like always on my mind. How can you not think about sex? Because literally it's all over in books. It's in our culture. It's like people are out there on sex. It's on the news. It's on TV. It's on everything on TV. It's in the movies. It's in social media. Literally everyone has OnlyFans. I'm like, how can you not think about sex? So that made it difficult. Thinking about it, having it being on the brain because it's there and around us is different than, yeah, having the desire to do it.
You're aware that the average man has a porno movie on a continuous loop going in his brain at all times, and you don't?
I've been told that, more or less. I have a hard time believing it, but if you say so.
So why aren't you the most successful man in the world? I mean, if...
See, this is another thing. And growing up as a Christian, learning how you need to not have lustful thoughts, protect your heart. So when somebody like Tucker Carlson is saying, oh, you don't have porn playing in your head on a loop like the average man. And so this is like kind of it's confusing. I'm like, and it's hard to differentiate what's the difference between what's natural for men, and then what is something that men just don't seem to have a filter or aren't having this moral, like, maybe not think about sex and objectifying women or whoever all the time. Maybe think about other things in your life that are probably more important. I'm just like, Tucker, are you always thinking about porn? It's one thing thinking about knowing that sex is out there, but I'm just like, like, if guys are having it continuously playing, which is something that I grew up kind of believing, it was just like, oh, this is why girls have to be modest, because guys are gonna think about it, and it's gonna be, oh, it's on their brain, it's on their brain. People just need to learn some self-control. There's porn addiction, which is not healthy. That's not normal. There's just so much out there. This is why we need more conversations about sex. More conversations, like, outside of the Christian purity culture.
The enormous energy it takes the average person, average man anyway, to think about sex all day long. I mean, I don't know, you'd have time to cure cancer. What are you doing with your free time?
Let's see. Well, right now I'm being on national television, but other than that, I mean, in a lot of ways, we just exchange one set of kind of things that we have to worry about for another. I mean, asexual people, I've got the same emotional needs as everyone else.
Like, to me, being somebody that is asexual and has ADHD, so, like, having a neurodivergent brain, I'm like, I wish I could spend a day in a neurotypical brain with somebody that doesn't have any disorders and see literally how different does the functioning work. Like, how hindered am I with my ADHD compared to you being unhindered with ADHD? So, like, when people are like, oh my gosh, you don't think about sex like that, I'm kind of just like, how hindered in life are you that you have said? He's like, oh, it takes so much energy. I'm like, does it really? Like, are you just being exaggerating on TV? Are you just a little more dirty-minded than other people? How much sex do y'all think about on a daily basis? Because it's just when they're this bewildered about asexual people existing, then it makes me bewildered that you're that bewildered.
Other than the complexities of sexual intimacy, but
How did you determine you were an asexual?
well, all my friends, when I was 13, 14, all my friends kind of started realizing that they were sexual people, talking about being sexually attracted to people, and I just couldn't relate to what they were saying. And so at that time, no one was talking about it. No one was acknowledging that you could not like sex and that was okay. So I went through kind of a really complicated process of just figuring myself out. And once I was comfortable with myself, I founded this website, asexuality.org, and a whole community has really grown up around it.
So you never have sexual impulses. You never have a physical sexual response.
I and a lot of other asexual people can experience sexual arousal, but that doesn't mean that we desire to be sexual in our relationships with people.
Huh. So, in other words, your body desires sex, but you don't feel like entering into sex with another person.
You could put it that way. I would just say that my body reacts a certain way. What
Right.
that means, you can't really ascribe a desire.
Well, I don't know. It's a significant question because it suggests that it's not the product of a hormonal imbalance. I mean, you have the ability to be sexually aroused.
Yeah. And right now there's been so little research done on asexuality that for the most part we don't know. But what little there's been indicates that there's no hormonal imbalance, there's no emotional disorder associated, there's nothing wrong with asexual people. It's just the way that we are.
Okay. I think a lot of viewers, and I know as I've been talking about this segment during the day, a number of people have said, well, he's gay, and he's just repressed. Do you get that a lot, and is that true?
A little bit. I mean, the thing
That is such a stupid argument. I've heard that before too. I've heard that before. They're like, an ace person will be like, oh, I don't feel attraction to anybody. I don't feel attraction to men or women or whatever other identity is out there. And then they're like, oh, so you're gay? No! It's so fucking stupid.
So you can be asexual and gay, asexual and straight, asexual and bi. Personally, I'm attracted maybe 80% to women, 20% to men. But
Carlson just cracks me up in this. Interesting. Bro, it's not that deep, honestly.
I'm pretty active about how I explore my relationships with people, how I explore intimacy. And I'm not holding anything back.
Do you feel like you're missing out?
No.
Fuck no.
I think it's also not the only way to have children. So, personally, I'm more interested in all the other ways.
It's. I think even now, a man still has to, ejaculate.
Well, no, I mean,
for a child to be born.
Okay, it's not the only way to raise children.
Right. Okay. Interesting. judging you? I mean, this is such a heavily sexualized society. When you tell people, incidentally, I'm an
Yes! Okay, you said it yourself. This society is highly sexualized. Therefore, you would at least think that maybe a guy having porn on a loop in his head might not be natural, as y'all are like, oh, you're ace, so you don't think about porn the entire day like I do? That's weird. Maybe it's weird because we're in a very, very sexualized society.
For the most part, people have been accepting. I think that there's some people out there who really just think that sex is kind of a vital part of being human.
yes.
And they'll sometimes take issue with us. But other than that, we've had, our community's been pretty well accepted. I think we're kind of creating some new discussions about sexuality and the different ways that it can or doesn't have to fit in someone's life that have never happened before.
Well, how about this? Why don't you just try it once, and then you'll know for certain.
Oh, I should have made a bingo card. Oh my gosh. I should have known that was coming. How do you know that you don't feel attracted to people in a sexual way if you haven't even had the sex? The argument I used recently to help somebody get a grasp for how I feel about being ace, and because I was asked this recently, like, are you sure? How do you know? And I told them, I was like, how do you know that you're straight? How do you know that you don't enjoy sex with a guy if you haven't tried it? You could be gay or bisexual, but you don't know because you haven't tried it. And he's like, yeah. I don't need to go have sex with a man or a woman to know that I'm not going to enjoy it. Even if I tried sex and I did like it, that doesn't mean I'm going to start looking at people and wanting to have the sex with them. I don't feel attracted to them that way. I just like to look at people that are very pretty. We're almost through this. We're gonna watch another one too. What a ride this is.
A lot of other asexual people have and haven't liked it. And also, from what I understand, a lot of times the first time isn't that great.
But it's like
How many times do I have to try it before I can
well, a
actually
couple. I mean,
say that?
it's like goat cheese. You know, when you're little, you think, I would never eat goat cheese. It comes from a goat. I didn't even know they had milk. And then you try it, and it's sort of
Ooh, another argument, again, as somebody raised in the Christian community, and the fact that we are raised and taught to be pure and not to have sex until we are married. First off, I'm not arguing that shouldn't happen. I mean, I do personally believe, I don't judge people that have sex before they're married, but I believe that you should wait till marriage to have sex ultimately. But how many people out there are living in very, very, very miserable marriages because they had sex before they got married, and then they were like, well, now we have to get married because of a religious spiritual belief. How many people got married, had sex, don't like it, they have kids, but they don't enjoy having sex with each other, and their marriage is in shambles because there's no spark? How many people had the same instance but then got divorced? None of these options you're providing to this asexual dude are like good solutions, because there are so many problems with anybody anyway. So it's not like ace people just need to go try and have sex. It doesn't work that way.
and then after 3 or 4 goat cheese experiences, you know, you like
What the
goat
fuck
cheese.
are we talking about goat cheese
I mean,
for?
honest, did you have to try sex to realize that it was something that you wanted to do? Do most 15-year-old boys have to try
You know,
sex?
but I don't know, on the principle that everything is worth trying at least once, you don't want to try it?
I don't really see.
Is it bad to try things? No. Is it bad that we don't want to have sex? No. Leave us the fuck alone. We don't want to do it. There are billions of people on this planet. There are billions out there having sex. Okay, so that is the end of that video. This video I expect will also be a doozy. This next video is asexuality on The View. So this was also filmed in 2006.
Well, it may seem like sex is everywhere these days, but it's not on the mind of David J. He says he has absolutely no sexual desire whatsoever. He's here to tell us about living as an asexual and why there are a lot more people like him than you think. Please welcome the founder of asexuality.org, David J. David, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Experience sexual attraction. So the way that, you know, most sexual people, you're either walking down the street and you see someone, or you're in a relationship with someone, at some point you feel like introducing sexuality into that. That just never happens to asexual people.
And is it a problem?
No, it's not a problem.
So then why do you need to organize?
She's trying to be funny for the sake of being on TV, but that's like, that was just annoying. We're not the norm. If people have to go out and they're questioning how they are, and you know, it's nice to have a group, an organization of people to help you figure things out.
You're not having sex, what's there to talk about?
Yeah. Thank you.
But I mean, I don't understand. I'm a little
Because
lost.
we live in this world where sexuality is kind of at the center of everything. It's at the center of how we think about relationships. It's at the center of how we think about pleasure. It's the center of how we think about a lot of aspects of our lives. And so asexual people are, you know, when I was in high school and middle school, I had no idea how to think about relationships. I had no idea how, kind of what was going on with me. No one was talking about the fact that
So
you
if
could
you're
not
a
be-
young man and you're an asexual and you don't have the same sexual feelings, you feel lost, like you're like odd man out because nobody's telling you why you're not having the feelings that everybody else is talking about.
No one's telling you that it's okay. 13, 14, when I realized that, I mean, pretty much when all my friends started being sexual, I was kind of like, all right, I have no way to think about what's going on there. I had no context to understand it. And so I kind of figured out for myself, well, I'm not experiencing these things, I must be asexual.
Well, maybe it's repressed sexuality rather than, you know, that you're just like a normal guy walking around. Maybe it's repressed because you don't want to face what the sexuality might look like. Could that be? Lie down.
I thought about that too when I was questioning, because I mean, the idea of having sex is scary to me, so I always kind of just wondered, like, maybe I'm not asexual, maybe I'm still straight, but sex is just scary. At the end of the day, I am ace, and sex is scary.
That'll be $100.
Dr. Joy. What about when you're like if you're dating someone, or you've had romantic relationships in the past, is this something you come out and tell them right away? Do you only date other people who are asexual? And if the person you're with is sexual, how do you match up?
I mean, I date people who are sexual.
Right.
I've pretty much
So far, that's like the most valid, not ignorant, annoying question
people who are
asked
sexual.
out of
them right away.
everything.
Yeah, and I tell them, they
We've seen
find out
today.
right away. I mean, I'm pretty out.
So what
But,
do they ask you then? Do they?
well, I'll make it clear. It's before we start dating, they'll know that I'm an asexual person, and I'll make it clear when we're still in the
Do
friend
they
stage
see that
or
as a
whatever.
challenge? Like, do they think, well, I'm gonna get him to be sexual?
A couple people have, but it hasn't worked out.
So do you not have sex? I mean, do asexuals not have sex at all? No sexual contact?
There's a couple of asexual people who kind of as a compromise because they're in relationships with sexual people. Well, I mean, it's not like a code. It's not like we kick you out or something.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you ever have sex with yourself?
Why do you need to know that? He's definitely laughing out of uncomfortability, because that's just so inappropriate. Even if it is, like, I get it. Like, nobody knew about this, and we're trying to learn education. But just, I don't know. That's such a gross question.
Valid question. Perfectly valid
You may not be attracted to anyone else. That doesn't mean you're not attracted to yourself.
Masturbation does not equal attraction.
There's some asexual people who will masturbate. You can like having sex with a man and not like having sex with a woman. You can like having sex with yourself and not like having sex with a partner.
Yeah.
But wait, now you're
You
describing
never answered
something
the
that's
question.
right.
You didn't answer the question. Do you like to have sex with yourself?
Oh, me personally.
Why? Why would you need to know that? It's okay to, like, ask, like, okay, but for the people, and then he, like, gave a good answer, but then she's, like, needing to know his business? That is fucking disgusting.
I've tried it. I mean, it was all right.
It's not all that. It's not all that.
So when you have a talking experience
I know, because I'm honestly don't. Because if you were having sex with yourself, excuse me, one more question, that would mean that you had sexual feelings. See, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this.
Well, the thing is, okay, the important thing is, at least as far as thinking about my life, if you're going to have a sexual relationship with someone, that's a lot of energy you have to spend into thinking about that, like thinking about that
So
relationship.
what, are you just lazy or what?
Oh my gosh. I cannot with the dismissive behavior. It makes me really upset. This is really annoying, y'all. I cannot.
I mean, I still form relationships. Asexual people have the same emotional needs as everyone else. So I still have to think about forming relationships. I just don't have to think about forming relationships sexually. I have to think about how am I going to center a relationship around something else? How am I going to form intimacy in a way that isn't based around sexuality?
Help me with this, because what you seem to be describing is more of a choice than an orientation. Initially, I thought you were describing an orientation.
No, I am describing an orientation.
But you say some people choose to have sex this way, some people choose not to have sex that way, some people compromise.
How many straight girls go out and have sexual relations with other girls? They choose to experiment or to have fun, but they're not choosing to be lesbian or bi. They could still be straight.
So is it an orientation or is it a choice to be asexual?
How you feel internally is an orientation.
Okay.
What you do, so an asexual person who does not feel desire to have sex can choose to have sex if they're in a situation, but that doesn't mean that they have the desire.
Gotcha.
So but how does that work? I'm sorry. I could see for a woman, you know, she can just lie there, but you have to do something.
Well,
Because boys will be boys, and all the guys out there walking around on the streets all have porn videos looping in their head. So why aren't you?
women before they realize they're gay. It's the same.
Gay men who have sex with women, yes, but they're fantasizing about a man.
You're right.
And then just cuddling with a girl and kissing and just having a little of that stuff. What about that?
I personally like that, yeah.
Oh, you do like that?
Oh, yeah.
So what if the girl gets aroused? What are you going to do?
I mean, she's going to know from the get-go.
She might change her mind once you embrace her.
Well, then he's in a bit of a pickle, isn't he?
Well, I am, but also, like...
Let's leave his pickle out of it.
I mean, okay, I've been lucky. Okay, no, don't worry.
I don't like this lady.
I've been fortunate enough that the people I've been in relationships with have been respectful. And also, we talk about it. We communicate. Like, if you openly communicate about what's going on...
I like how he's basically just like, well, common sense, communication, and respect. I've been lucky enough to be with women that are respectful, unlike you would be, obviously.
Then it gives you a space to work it out, and that's what's important.
Thank you for being as candid as you have been
no
today.
problem.
I know a lot of people feel the same way you feel.
Decided to be more chilled for that video, but that was very annoying. So that's me reacting to some videos from 2006 of people interviewing David J. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for bearing with me and my rants. Hope this video was entertaining, maybe a little educational. I don't think it was that educational, but you learned more about me if you haven't already seen Ace videos from me, because I pretty much repeat all the same things in Ace videos. Anyway, this is all that I have for you guys today. Please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! Mwah.